Pretty good. I've been training a lot lately, trying to be serious again. We have a lot of time before the first World Cup, but it's January now, and I feel like it's time to get on the grind. And yeah, everything's going good. Life's good at the moment, and the new bike's sick, so I'm excited.
Things are good. Recently, I've been at home in BC, just doing a bit of trail riding in Vancouver, and a lot of skiing, a lot of snowmobiling, making most of the winter while I can.
Yeah, good. Just been chilling at home, doing off-season stuff, riding the pit bike and getting the training started, so yeah.
I think for me, it's pretty easy to say what my favorite moment is. I think it's World Champs 2022. It was my only win of the season, actually, and the only one I cared about. I had some injuries in the process. The season wasn't so good, but I was able to, I don't know how, pull a crazy run for World Champs, and in front of this crowd with my two friends on the podium was next level, and it's my best memory of my life almost, so super happy with that.
That's pretty easy for me. I think winning in Mont Saint Anne was sort of like the highlight of my racing career, and I definitely say the highlight of my last season. It was like an incredible feeling to get my first win, and especially to get that win on home soil in front of my parents and friends and stuff. It was pretty awesome.
That's a hard one. It's got to be World Champs for sure. Winning World Champs, I don't think you can get better than that, but winning the World Cup at home in Fort William was pretty special. But yeah, my favourite moment was World Champs for sure.
Yeah, I think the toughest one. So I broke my collarbone in May, end of May, and then tried to come back. It was not so bad. I felt like I had it in me, and came back, did one race a little bit too early, didn't do so well, and the next race was really good, but then we flew to the US and it was super muddy, and I just felt the lack of riding, and I was struggling like crazy, so I didn't do so well, crashed in finals, didn't finish my run, I had a mechanical, and then I went to MSA with a lot of hype and hope too. I was like, okay, let's do this because I like this track, and there I dislocated my shoulder, so there I was just not in a good spot, just reaching rock bottom because I did everything I could and nothing was going the right way. Everything was like I was swimming against the stream so much, and I thought at the time I would miss World Champs, so it was not cool at all.
I think the toughest moment was I had a big crash in April while I was training, and I ended up having a concussion, so recovering from that concussion was really difficult. I'd never had one before, so I'd never really been through that recovery process, and not feeling like yourself for multiple weeks at a time was definitely pretty difficult, but I think it made me stronger and actually sort of prepped me for the rest of the year.
The toughest moment was probably Andorra. It was super hard track that was so fast, and you couldn't make any mistakes, and if you did, it was like, you'd have a big crash. And I'd had a perfect run, a really good run. I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to win that, and I didn't win it, and I was like, okay, you've got to go more than what you want to go, and yeah, that was quite hard to take the loss there. So
now actually, we're here to do some sponsor stuff, see everybody. It's been a while here in crankbrothers, plus the other guys up north are Specialized. And then it's been a super long time I didn't go to New Zealand, so I want to do that because we have an extra like 2 months compared to usual. So I'm going to go there, do the Crankworks. Normally we do also a super cool race in Colombia, which is amazing. I've never been there, and I want to discover this place, see the people. Like apparently they love mountain biking, so it'll be cool. And there's the test event also, like with the new rules, with everything, so it's pretty exciting to know what's going to happen. But I want to chill. Like I realized through the years that also staying at home, riding the local trails is so good, and I made up a good project with a new downhill track close to home, so I want to ride this track a lot too.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on for the next little while. I think I'm just going to stay at home and focus on training, getting fit, and sort of building all those base miles so that when the season does come around, I'm in the best shape I can be. But with this late start, it feels like there's a lot of time to build towards being fast for that first race of the season, and I think that as we get into April, May, I'm going to really ramp up the downhill stuff, but for the next little while, just focusing on in the gym stuff, on the trail bike, and riding DH wherever I can.
Just training hard, doing as much riding as I can on the new bike, and yeah, just make sure we get the good setup with my mechanic, and yeah, make sure I'm feeling good on the bike.
Honestly, no. California, I love it, but it's simple. I think my favorite thing is just palm trees. Just when I look at them in the sky, I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. I don't like so much. It's too busy. The riding is not always a great. There's a lot of good things, and I'm actually the favorite thing is going to Supercross. So we're going to watch San Diego. But yeah, if I had to pick a place to just go traveling, it would probably be something more quiet. But I actually like it because a lot of our sponsors are here, and it's good to just see everybody for just keep the relationship alive.
Coming down to California, I think my favorite thing every year is the weather. Where I live, it's always cold and it's always rainy and it's always snowy. So coming down here, like today I went for a ride. It was 20 degrees, it was perfect, and it's just nice to get outside and actually have some good weather to ride in.
Well, I think it's definitely going to be the Supercross. Big Supercross fan, so yeah, that'll be the best.
Yeah, I think I don't know now, 5 guys are in and out. Maybe 5 guys, because they are in Europe, and I love it.
I think my favorite US fast food is In-N-Out. I don't know if it's overrated or it's just something that I never get because we don't have it at home, but I think In-N-Out is pretty top notch.
5 Guys. It's got to be just a classic cheeseburger from 5 Guys.
I don't know for next year yet. I'm super stressed out. No, not stressed out. Nervous about World Champs being in Fort William because it's my nemesis, a little bit this track. It's never been good to me, or I've never been able to be good there. Last year got injured on this track, and now it's like World Champs, and it's the last year we're supposed to race there. So I'm like, it's my last opportunity to do well, and I don't know how to handle it. So that's something I'm looking forward to, even though it scares me a little bit. If I just want to, for fun, I just want to go back to Léger. Safe place.
I would say that I'm looking forward to Mont Saint Anne the most. I really like racing in Canada. I feel like the home crowd is pretty special, and to have a race in Canada that my friends and family can come to means a lot. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the weather is because it is in October, and Quebec in October could be either snowy or icy, so it's going to be interesting, but I'm still looking forward to that race for sure.
Mont Saint Anne. I think Mont Saint Anne's just a sick place, and it's one of the best tracks.
Yeah. I'm trying to be political correct. So yeah, we have a lot of changes for this year, a lot of new people involved, and they changed a lot of things. They changed a lot of things, including the format of racing for downhill, which is for me not the way I would have done it. So I'm a little bit sad we were not asked about how we felt about it, but I believe they have done some research and they know what they're doing, but right now with the schedule they're showing, it's just not really what downhill is in my eyes, because for me downhill is that one run peaking at the end of the weekend and basta così, while now it's like practice, semi-final, and then straight away after finals when you're going to have to send it in semi-finals because it's almost the same amount of points. So I'm like, is this enduro, is this downhill? I don't know. And for me it's a bit of a shame, but let's wait and see, and maybe I'm always skeptical and this is my problem, but I'm curious to see how it goes.
Semifinals at the World Cups. I'm not really sure what to expect. I feel like it's one of those things where you don't really know until you experience it. I'm not super against it because I feel like it definitely adds a new element to downhill racing, and downhill racing's been the same since 2005 or whatever. So I think it'll add a little bit of a twist, and it's definitely going to make racing harder, but I'm excited to see what it brings for everybody and to the competition.
I think it could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. I think for someone like me that's coming into their first year elite, it can be a good thing because all the other elites are kind of stressing about it, whereas it's all new to me anyway. So it could be an advantage to me, but having the points so high in semis will be kind of dangerous, I think, because I think everyone will be going flat out. So having two of the best runs of your life in one day could be quite sketchy.
Man, that day was next level. And when the race finished and I just realized I was world champion, and we were in France, I never won in France before. And I saw all that, I just felt like, I was like, what is happening? I was like, I felt like we were all rock stars, because they were trying to jump on us, the police was trying to keep us safe or whatever, and then they took the like massive riot to the hot seat, they destroyed everything. And I don't know, it felt like a moment, like the intensity of the climax was I've never seen that before. And the people were just so stoked because the race was sick, 3 Frenchies on the podium, and they were just happy to have seen that, I think. And the energy was building up all the time through the week to that point, and they all exploded at once. And that followed by the sickest podium of my life with the best national anthem I've ever sung. It was, for me, I could have said, okay, curtains, I stop. You know, I almost felt this way. I was like, I would never feel this again.
Yeah, I feel like I made big steps forward every year. It may not have shown on the results sheet just because there was a lot of inconsistency with crashing and not performing as well as I'd like. And I think the biggest change I made was with my training as well as with my mental state before races. I felt like I put in a lot of extra work in the off season, and that sort of helped me sort of feel like I was there and I'd earned it. And then at the races, I had never had any stress. It was like, I'm ready for this. Like, I know that I can do it, and I've always known that I could do it. I think it was just sort of one of those things where I had to put in that extra work to really put myself over the edge. Yeah, race day in Mont Saint Anne was an interesting one. I'd won qualifying by like 3 seconds, so it was one of those things where I knew that I was faster than everybody else on the track, especially because my run wasn't particularly amazing. It was just sort of riding the track and being smooth. So coming to race day, I felt like the biggest thing was not to crash or not to make too many mistakes. And I was a little bit nervous in the morning, and that's pretty normal for World Cups. But I think in Mont Saint Anne, I really felt the pressure because there were so many fans, my parents were there, and because I'd done so well in qualifying. But when it comes down to it, it's kind of like every other race, and I was at the top, and I just went through my routine, and once I left the start gate, I didn't even think about anything else other than riding. And I made a couple mistakes on my run, but other than that, it was really fast and pretty solid until my chain came off. And to be honest, I didn't even notice in the beginning. I tried this double and I cased it, and I knew something was wrong, but I went to pedal and was like, good, and then it jammed and I couldn't really move, but I was lucky that my feet stopped like 50-50. And then from there, I just sort of focused on hitting on my lines and being as smooth as possible and braking as little as possible. And I was pretty lucky, but it worked out in the end. So, no harm, no foul.
How'd that come about? It was Laurent spoke to me at Fort William, actually, so very close to the start of the season. I didn't really think of much of it at first because I thought, no way this could happen. Like, it's a big team, and it's a dream to be on this team. And we just started speaking and spoke to more in Leogang, and it just kept building from there. And after the season, we had a proper sit down, and stoked to be on the new team. Loving it, actually really loving it. It was so strange at first, completely different. Like, the only thing that I've kept from the old team was the wheels. So it was quite a shock at first, but yeah, it's feeling good now, and I can't wait to start racing it. It's pretty cool. Loic, I used to look up to him as a kid, so it's like bit of fanning going on, but yeah, it's so cool, and it's nice to see them not like behind the camera, and it's have a laugh with them, and they're good fun.
Okay, that's perfect.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Easy.
Perfect.